I think I'm accidentally marrying the wrong fiance. What do I do? I'm getting married in 3 weeks to a man I've never met in person. My parents arranged it to save our failing business because he needs a green card, and we need money. It was supposed to be a simple transaction. My childhood best friend Caleb has been helping me plan everything while my fiance waits in India. But yesterday something happened that broke everything wide open, and now I don't know what to do. For 2 months, everything worked exactly like we planned. I'd have my Sunday video calls with my fiance where we'd discuss paperwork and visa timelines. He'd send monthly packages with his mother's jewelry that I'd photograph wearing for the immigration files. It felt like a business meeting every single time. Caleb handled all the wedding planning. Every morning we'd meet at this little cafe near my apartment, and he'd already have my coffee waiting exactly how I liked it, with oat milk, half sugar, extra hot. I never told him that's how I wanted it, but somehow he just knew. During cake tastings, he'd slide his favorite samples onto my plate and say, "Try this one, you'll love the lemon." When our fingers would brush during the exchange, I'd feel this weird flutter in my stomach that I told myself was just wedding stress. The barista at our morning spot asked when our wedding was, and Caleb said next month without even hesitating. I felt my whole face burn and waited for him to correct her, but he just smiled and grabbed our drinks. My stomach dropped in a way I couldn't explain. While my fiance sent me spreadsheets about wedding traditions from his assistant, Caleb was spending his Saturdays with my grandmother learning all our family recipes by heart. When he finally got the dumpling fold right, he looked up at me with this huge smile and said, "Did you see that? I actually did it." My heart stuttered and I had to look away because the pride on his face made me feel things I shouldn't feel. 3 weeks ago at the venue tasting, the coordinator seated us at the couples table and Caleb pulled out my chair. His hand rested on my back for just a second to guide me in, and my skin burned through my dress for the rest of the dinner. During the father-daughter dance song options, I started crying out of nowhere. Caleb didn't say anything, just reached under the table and laced his fingers through mine. I couldn't stop thinking about how perfectly his fingers fit between mine. The dress shopping day was when things shifted. My mother couldn't make it, so Caleb drove me, and when the saleswoman asked what he wanted for our first dance, he answered immediately, "Nothing too long because she always trips on long dresses." Then he caught himself and his face went red, but it was too late. The saleswoman smiled and said, "You two have that look that real love gives people. You can always tell when it's genuine." The car ride home was 23 minutes of complete silence. At a red light, he turned to me and opened his mouth like he was going to say something, but then just shook his head. That night he texted, "Should I stop helping with the wedding?" I stared at my phone for 2 hours before finally just sending back, "No." Yesterday my grandmother had a stroke and everything I'd been denying finally exploded. The hospital called at 5 a.m. and my fiance couldn't leave India because his visa interview was locked in. He sent money and posted worried messages in our family group chat, which was the appropriate response from overseas. Caleb showed up at the hospital without me even calling him. When grandmother woke up confused at 2 a.m., she grabbed both our hands and looked straight at Caleb. "You take care of my girl," she said. "I see how she looks at you and how you look at her. Promise me," she insisted, squeezing his hand. Caleb looked her straight in the eyes and said, "I promise I'll always take care of her." I had to run to the bathroom. I sat on that gross hospital floor with my back against the door because watching him promise my grandmother he'd take care of me made me realize I was completely in love with him. This morning we were addressing the final invitations, and at envelope 70 he put down his pen. "Are you happy?" he asked. The question destroyed me because the answer was no, but also the answer was only when I'm with you. But I couldn't say either of those things out loud. I just stared at him while my throat closed up. He waited for 10 seconds that felt like hours, then nodded and picked up his pen. We finished the rest in silence. I told Caleb my fiance was coming and he said, "Good, that's good." But his voice cracked on the second good. And this morning I found his note saying he couldn't do this anymore and my fiance should help with the rest. He won't answer my calls. The wedding is in 3 weeks and if I cancel my family loses everything, but I just realized I've been planning my whole future with someone who isn't even going to be in it.